What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. We're back here on Madden 25 here for another rebuild, as today we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, it's no secret that the Cowboys are not having the season they would have wanted to coming into the season, and there's a lot of issues with their roster. But one position that's been kind of an issue all year is the running back position. While Rico Dowdle has been pretty good lately, of course, for their running back position, I'm not sure he's the future there. He might be, but not sure he will be, which has led to a lot of mock drafts maybe pinning Ashton Jeanty towards the Dallas Cowboys. So today in Madden 25, we're going to make that a reality. We're going to jump in to this Cowboys rebuild. We're going to be doing an Ashton Jeanty Dallas Cowboys rebuild in Madden 25. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. I am recording this on Saturday before the Sunday slate. You guys won't see this game until Monday. Of course, they play the Carolina Panthers, who have been pretty good lately. Bryce Young has looked good. The Cowboys were winners of 2 straight, beating my Commanders, then the Giants on Thanksgiving, and it looked like they were about to make it 3 straight. Of course, there was a punt debacle against the Bengals, but overall, this team has, played well lately. Their defense has obviously had a spark with Parsons, Deron Bland back, but Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback, and then you have some young talent on the offensive line. You got obviously Jake Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Rico Dowdle. Like I said, the running back position it's kind of been an issue all year, but since they've been given the rock to Dowdle more and kind of had him as the full-time running back, it's been working pretty well. Again, I don't know if he's going to be the future there. He could be, but if not, maybe they go in the draft and draft Ashton Jeanty, which is obviously what we're going to do today. And of course, one of their talented linebackers, Mario Overshone, got hurt again. He's incredible, but unfortunately just cannot stay healthy. You got Deron Bland, Trayvon Diggs, but there are some pieces like, of course, Micah Parsons. What we're going to do is summit the rest of season 1. And of course, we're going to go ahead, get in the offseason. And the main focus will be drafting Ashton Jeanty to this team. And he'll be the new running back going forward. Then Dak Prescott will be back. We'll be back to try to make the playoffs once again. So let's go ahead, summit to the end of year 1. And we'll see how this team finishes out and where we'll be picking the draft and how we do in the offseason. So at the end of the season, we finish up at 7-10, and of course are not in the playoffs. But let's go ahead and take a look at the player stats for the season. So offensively, you were 21st in the NFL, and then on the defense side of the football, you were 28th in the NFL. Obviously, Mike McCarthy, there'll be an impending potential contract extension with him if they decide to keep him around. Maybe they go to a different head coach. We'll see, but he is an expiring contract. Dak with 11-8 before he got hurt. Rico Dowdle, only 2 touchdowns and 932 yards from Rico Dowdle. CeeDee Lamb, 1,300 yards, 600 from Jalen Tolbert, and then you had 500 from Ferguson, but no touchdowns at all, which is a little disappointing, I would say. And then 9 sacks from Parsons, 5 from Mario Overshone. Like I said, he's a really good linebacker, but also just can't really stay healthy lately. Diggs, I guess I can't say lately because he's still pretty young. He just can't stay healthy in general. Trayvon, 3 interceptions, 2 from Kendricks, 2 from Hooker, and then 1 from Mario Overshone. But let's go ahead and get straight into the resigning stage and start this rebuild, shall we? So of course we have the draft class loaded, but we have Tyler Smith as a 5th-year option, which of course is going to be an accepting of that. Adigazua, we're going to go ahead and try to keep him around as well. Only 27, nice little piece on that D tackle position. And it always seems like every single rebuild I'm looking for D tackles. So you do have Zach Martin's a free agent, Brandon Cooks is a free agent, Rico Dowdle. So a lot of interesting. I'm obviously not going to bring back Ezekiel Elliott. I think that is done for. DeMarcus Lawrence, I think you can bring back, though, although we have to be very careful. That's going to be a lot of our change going towards him, but I do think, keeping him around is good. Zach Martin, same thing. Probably keeping him around would be good, too. He's going to stick around. So that leaves about $5 million in cap space, and the one position I think we extend that to. I wanted to keep Turpin and Jordan Lewis and Rico Dowdle, but might not be able to keep all of them, so unfortunately, we might be letting Rico Dowdle go, even though he had a pretty solid season for us. But I do think keeping KaVontae Turpin, of course, is something. KaVontae Turpin is something the Cowboys want to do, and that leaves us with about $1 million in cap space. So we'll definitely have some holes to fill even after that, and then Trey Lance, the free agent, too. But yeah, there's going to be a lot or not enough cap space to fill out the rest of this roster, which is going to be the challenge for the Dallas Cowboys because obviously, as we all know, they are paying Dak and CeeDee Lamb a ton of money. And maybe we shouldn't have paid DeMarcus Lawrence and Zach Martin because of that. We have holes to fill elsewhere. But we'll figure it out. So offensive line doesn't need address. Definitely could use another wide receiver for sure. We obviously going to be drafting Ashton Jeanty in the backfield, so that's fine. And then, so yeah, only thing on the offense really is going to be maybe another wide receiver and obviously running back once we draft that. But defensively, we could definitely use, there's some things to like here. So overall, there is some pieces kind of everywhere, which is good because, like I said, we don't have enough cap space to address everything. But definitely need to maybe get like a couple more pieces here. You know, you could upgrade your safety positions. Neither one of them are that terrific. You like that you have Diggs and Deron Bland. A third corner may not be terrible. But yeah, we're going to have to just figure it out slowly. So let's go ahead and I guess see if there's any obvious cuts to maybe free up some money. Obviously, if DeMario Overshown, I think they said he might miss the rest of next season, but having him back would be clutch for one of those linebacker spots, but he may not be available. Let's go see when he will come back here. So complete ACL tear, he'll be out 18 weeks. So yeah, he'll be gone for a while. And then Sam Williams as the right end position will be gone as well. So definitely going to miss him for a little bit, but let's go see if there's any obvious cuts before we get straight to trying to sign anybody, or if we're going to even be able to, for that matter. So you have, so Donovan Wilson. Yeah, there's no obvious cuts here. What you could do is restructure some contracts, but we're really not going to be in the business of doing that. So once again, we're probably not going to do anything in free agency, unfortunately. I think everything's just going to have to be addressed through the draft, and hopefully guys get healthy. So yeah, I think I made a mistake by potentially signing Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence back. You maybe have to let those guys go in order to obviously spend in free agency. Usually this class isn't all that great, so maybe we didn't miss out on anything too crazy. Let's see if there's anybody. So like, yeah, we don't obviously need a left tackle. So it's not a great class to begin with, at least here in Madden. Obviously real life will be different. Chase Young, I guess, would be interesting to go get, but unfortunately, obviously can't do that. So it is what it is. Let's just go ahead and get into the draft, and we know where we'll be starting in round 1. So we'll be picking at number 11. So of course we'll make sure to make the best of that pick. I think I am going to just draft Ashton Jeanty up at the top. I'm not saying the Cowboys would do that. If he like fell to round 2, maybe they do that, but it's kind of hard to say how valuable running backs really are. But I do believe taking Ashton Jeanty here is important. We kind of saw what impact running backs had this offseason. We all know that, of course, Saquon Barkley was incredible in Philadelphia. Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, like some of the guys that changed teams were really damn good. So we are going to go ahead and draft Ashton Jeanty here, though, with his first selection in round 1 for the Cowboys. Obviously, he's going to be a great player for us. He's going to start immediately at that running back spot, and he's going to be fed the rock. Kind of reminds me, of course, when the Cowboys got Ezekiel Elliott. He came in and was a stud right away, and the team really turned around. So maybe we can get that kind of same impact here as well. Let's take a look at what else we got here. So Jackson Dart. We got Tez Johnson out of Oregon. So somebody told, or I've been kind of, so how do I sort? So I'm trying to figure out, because people have told me that I've not had this sorted correctly. So I'm assuming, whoops, that's not what I want to do. So sort talent. Is it talent or is it projection? So projection. So round 1 and 2, maybe this is how I should be sorting it. I don't know. But we got Malachi Moore here. Actually, may not be a bad pick here because we do need kind of some safety upgrades. Another wide receiver would be cool too. Takario Davis would be awesome, or Maxwell Hairston. So there definitely is some solid options here, but I do think we're going to take Malachi Moore here at free safety to kind of replace, obviously, Malik Hooker eventually. So that's going to be our second round pick to upgrade on the defense. Number 9 true value, drafting at 43, so I feel pretty solid about that pick. So let's get to round 3 now, and let's see if we can get anything going there. And then make another solid pick, and then that will be kind of our first offseason where we didn't get to do too much. Trey Harris would have been good too. I think I would have taken him had I known he was still on the board, but I do feel pretty good about, obviously, we could take Kyron Lacy here. We could take a corner. We could take Kansas corner. We could take a guard. And there's a bunch of things. We could take the Oregon Terrence Ferguson. We could take a middle linebacker. So there definitely is some solid picks here, but I do kind of want to take a look at Kyron Lacy at the top and see what he's kind of looking at. So be released, but should we focus? Honestly, I'm actually fine with rolling with Turpin as our slot corner this year. I think we can rock with that. So Jabbar Muhammad out of, let's see. I actually don't mind this pick in round 3 to give ourselves another corner. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's probably what our draft will look like. So not bad, giving ourselves a third corner after losing Jordan Lewis. So overall, I think a decent offseason for the circumstances. I will say I kind of regret re-signing Zach Martin and DeMarcus Lawrence. I think I would have probably allocated that money spread across multiple positions, but you know, I got them back and they'll be helpful, but definitely could have maybe gone a different direction with that. But we accomplished our main goal, which of course was getting Ashton Jeanty on this roster. So we'll see how year number 2 goes. Of course, we know the Cowboys are usually good in the simulation, so I think we'll be fine regardless. So here's the lineup going into season number 2. Dak Prescott, Ashton Jeanty, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, And you have Horton as well, who they drafted for us. So we can roll with Turpin or Horton at the slot probably. And I forgot about Mingo. They shared a 4th round pick for Mingo, so maybe we can get him involved too. We have Jake Ferguson, Terrence Steele, Zach Martin, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, and Tyler Guyton. On the defensive side of the football, you have Malachi Moore, which I feel really good about that pick. So DeMario Overshown, at least they have him kind of healthy here in Madden. I'm not sure he'll be ready immediately in real life, but you know what? I'll take it. We could definitely use his services right now. Donovan Wilson, Trayvon Diggs, then Deron Bland, Carson, and Mohammed. So our 3rd round pick was a 74 overall. But I'm very excited about Malachi Moore added to this defense. DeMario Overshown being healthy will help out a ton as well. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and simulate year number 2 and kind of expect things to go a lot better. As I said, you know, usually the Cowboys are pretty good in the Madden simulation, and hopefully with Ashton Jeanty added to the backfield, that should only help. So hopefully we find ourselves back in the playoffs, and hopefully Ashton Jeanty has an incredible season for this team to really boost them once again. So as expected, we did finish off the season at 11-6, and we made the playoffs. It doesn't look like we won our division, though. I'm assuming the Eagles probably won it. They did at 12-5, and Washington also made the playoffs at 9-8 behind us. We got San Francisco, obviously a team the Cowboys are very familiar with in round 1. Looks like if we may have won our last game, potentially we could have won the division. Who knows how the tiebreak would have went with Philadelphia. Don't know if we beat them or not. Let's go take a look at the player stats and kind of see how things went this season. So offensively, we were 7th in the NFL, which is incredible to see. You love that. And then defensively, we were 12th in the NFL. So that's awesome. 35-11 from Dak Prescott. You had 18 touchdowns. That's what we want to see. And also almost 1,000 yards from Ashton Jeanty. So that is awesome to see. CeeDee Lamb, 1,100 yards. Mingo was involved too at 962. And then Jalen Tolbert, 725 yards and 7 touchdowns. Ferguson, 680. And then even Turpin got involved too, which is nice, 6 touchdowns. So love to see that. And defensively, sacks-wise, you had 7 from Parsons. You had 10 from Lawrence, 5 from Adigizua, and then 4.5 from DeMario Overshown, along with 2 interceptions. 3 interceptions from Parsons, and then 3 from Diggs. So let's go ahead, jump into this very familiar playoff game we have with our, a team that's not their division rival or anything, but it's definitely a rivalry with these two teams, dating back a long time, and as much as recently as well, with how many times these teams have met up in the playoffs lately. So let's see if we can finally get one over in the Niners. Let's jump in, see how this goes. The Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers. Hopefully, we can just hand the rock to Ashton Jeanty like crazy and he just runs wild on this team, as we will go up 7-0 to start things off. They respond with a field goal. We also get an interception from Donovan Wilson, and we will have another touchdown. We'll be up 21-3. So very solid start. It's 21-10, and now they're going to make things interesting. Can we respond with a touchdown? And we get I think it was a field goal, but we will go up 24-18. 6-point victory. So we finally beat the 49ers, and now we're going to be moving on to the next round. So let's go ahead and see who we're going to be playing off in divisional weekend. And now we get to face off against our fellow division rival, that being the Philadelphia Eagles. So not the Commanders, it's the Eagles. So obviously to get to the Super Bowl, we're going to have to go through this team regardless. So we just happen to find them in divisional round. So let's see if we can come out here and score right away. And we put up a safety, very interesting enough, to start this one. And now we're up 9-0. So that is a start I don't think I've ever really seen in these simulations, but it's a 2-point game thus far. A little bit of a bizarre score, but we can now 5-point games. Now it's the 4th quarter. If we score here, it looks good, but now the Eagles get the ball back. 2 minutes left in the game. Can we yeah, okay, so we beat them 12-7. A very bizarre score, but we will absolutely take it. And just like that, and as soon as season, in year number 2, we barely did anything in the offseason because we gave all of our money to Martin and Lawrence. But now we're headed off to the NFC Championship, and we'll see who's in front of us there. So can't wait. And now for another team that the Cowboys are very familiar with in the playoffs, and that is the Green Bay Packers. It feels like every single time the Cowboys play the Packers in the playoffs, the Packers just get one over on them some way, somehow. Obviously, the last memory of the Cowboys-Packers playoff game is the Packers ran wild on them. Jordan Love threw it all over them in Dallas. That was their last taste of being in the playoffs. So let's even get some revenge here. 7-0 at Lambeau. Obviously, if you guys remember the last time the Cowboys were in Lambeau for a playoff game, the infamous Dez Bryant catch, 21-0. That wasn't a catch. It's 21-7, but so far so good. We're absolutely embarrassing the Packers, and just like that, easy peasy, we're headed to the Super Bowl. So this was sweat free. We didn't really have to jump into any of them to make anything happen. I don't think it was going to anyway, because it's only year number 2. But now, just like that, we find ourselves in the Super Bowl, so can't wait to see who will be in front of us there. And now that we've made the Super Bowl, we are squaring off against the Baltimore Ravens. Usually it's like the Bills and the Chiefs that I see in the Super Bowl and from the AFC. Sometimes, the Bengals sometimes can be here, but it's mainly the Chiefs and the Bills. But just so happens to be the Baltimore Ravens this time. So let's see if we can come out here and continue on this playoff success we're on so far. But we are down 7-0. But we are going to respond with a field goal. But did we get here just to lose is the question. Score a touchdown, but the Ravens are not stopping either. They keep scoring on us as well. And this might be all she wrote. If we don't score here, that could be yeah. So it looks like we got all the way here just to lose to the Ravens, unfortunately. So getting to the big game is cool and all, but of course, falling short of your goal never feels good. So we clearly got some more work to do. I don't really know if we'll have any money freed up in the offseason. It's probably going to be even worse if I had to guess. But we'll see what we can do. Obviously, we have a running back going forward. We have some wide receivers going forward. There's some pieces going forward, but definitely some more things we could add. But overall, we'll always have the Cowboys simulation on our side. So we'll definitely get a Super Bowl, I think, in this video. It's probably as soon as next season, but let's just go ahead, I guess, get straight into the offseason and continue to build on what we've built already. We're actually going to be going into this offseason with quite a bit of cap space, $73 million. I'm assuming there's going to be some talent that, of course, needs to be re-signed. I think Parsons is a free agent, or maybe his fifth-year option's coming up. I can't sure. No, he's a free agent. So Parsons, Ron Bland, Jake Ferguson, Tolbert, Sam Williams. Okay, so definitely some important pieces here. Obviously, first one being Micah Parsons. You got to re-sign him. Now, I know there's some Cowboys fans that are over him because of his podcast and stuff, but you can't deny the talent on the field. I don't think the Cowboys, even if for some reason he wasn't going to be a Cowboy anymore, the Cowboys would find a way, or they should anyway, to at least trade him, and they'll get an incredible haul for him if I had to guess. But for this video, we're not trading him. We're going to keep him around. So obviously, it looks like he's interested in coming back. So I'm just going to offer just maybe a little bit more, and he should just re-sign that easily. So yeah, we get Micah Parsons to stay a Cowboy. Sounds like he wants to be here anyway. And both Deron Bland and Ferguson are also interested in coming back. And I do think those are two pieces, regardless, that we should keep around. So we're going to keep both of them around. And that's not going to leave us with a ton of money to work with. But, I mean, what can you really do? Do we resign Tolbert, though, is the question. Do we let him go, or do we kind of roll with what we have behind him? Nah, I think we'll resign him. We'll resign him. So we have Mingo and Horton in the shadows as well. But I do think keeping Tolbert is pretty interesting, or, pretty important. Or Tolbert. I keep pronouncing it two different ways. My apologies. But we only have $4 million in cap space now. So I was kind of looking forward to potentially having some money freed up to do some stuff this offseason, but that doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Unless if we're to do something crazy with some contracts. But obviously, we're not going to cut CeeDee Lamb. We're not cutting Diggs. We could cut Malik Hooker, I guess. So yeah, let's do that. That's going to free us up a little bit of money. It's not going to do too much. But obviously, Malachi Moore is taking over that spot anyway. So we'll cut him. Is there anybody else that's maybe like we could cut? We could cut Steele as well. I mean, he's making $8 million. We could find a right tackle in the draft potentially. So yeah, we could do that too. So we'll cut Terrence Steele at 29. He's literally only 75 overall. That should give us just a little bit of money maybe to get somebody in free agency, or spread this money across a few guys. And I want to make an impact, hopefully, in free agency. We'll kind of see what is available to us, but it's not like we have a ton of money to work with. We could maybe restructure a contract or two if we need to as well, if there's anything interesting here. Let's take a look at our lineup before we do that. I'm assuming Ashton Jeanty should be a superstar. He is. Okay, that's what I wanted to see, so that's nice. So obviously, we need a right guard and a right tackle. So Zach Martin retired, it looks like, and then Cooper Beebe, or obviously we let Terrence Steele go. Our wide receiver core is fine. So the only thing in the offense to be worried about, of course, is our right side of the offensive line. Defensively, Malachi Moore is pretty good right away. Muhammad is a third corner, so obviously need to address that. We could either address the linebackers, which we could probably move Micah Parsons down, and then Lawrence retired as well, so that's a little disappointing. But we could literally move Micah Parsons down here if need to, and we could sign like a middle linebacker. So maybe we could do that. Depends. I guess it just depends. Do we have a good left end in free agency, or do we have a good middle linebacker? Parsons can play pretty much anywhere. But we obviously need a strong safety as well. So we're gonna have to try to get one of those in free agency, and of course the rest of that will be addressed in the draft. Let's see who is here in free agency to obviously make the big purchase, and then we'll address everything else in the draft. Or if there's a ton of guys to go after, maybe we find a way to get make it spend a couple of guys and go restructure contracts. Brandon Aubrey's also a free agent, so that's pretty important. How much is he going to be? So that's a good chunk of our change, because obviously he's a good kicker. So I really can't invest that much in a kicker, though. Greg Newsome. All right, so let's see. So we have Hello Shakira, which would be awesome, but again, we're not going to spend that money. So Terrell Bernard actually sounds good, because if we get him, then if we can maybe find a way to get a right guard too, that'd be great. I don't know if we're going to have that much money though. So if we could get Terrell Bernard here in free agency to be our middle linebacker, we move Parsons down to the end, and then we grab whatever guards available on the right side, or even like a right tackle, whatever. So we have Taylor Moden, haven't seen Kill McGarry. Is there anybody else? We could bring Terrence Steele back, I guess. Haven't seen is probably going to want a little too much money. We're not right guard. So we can go Will Hernandez or Falele. I guess Falele has no offers, so we could maybe get him on the right side, and we could just worry about drafting a right tackle. So if we could get Bernard and Falele, I think that'd be a decent little haul. You know, obviously nothing too crazy, but that would allow us to move Parsons, like I said, down to right end. And we will get Bernard to sign right away. And hopefully Falele will sign here soon, but he's going to keep thinking about his offer. So don't know if we'll get him, so I guess we'll find out before, obviously, the draft. And then if we get him, that's great. If we don't, we obviously have 2 positions to fill. But I'm very happy to get Bernard. We'll move Parsons down to the end spot where he'll get a bunch of sacks, which will be nice too. And then we can just draft with whatever we see. Right tackle will be one of our top picks, probably. And then whatever else on the defense side of the ball. Strong safety will obviously be important too. So definitely need to look into that. So let's jump straight in this draft and let's see what we'll be picking at number 31. So that's the unfortunate part. Obviously, we'll have a very late pick in this draft, but the first round pick either needs to be a strong safety or right tackle, hopefully. So let's see if that will be available to us or not. So let's go sorted. So we have Caleb Downs, which I guess we can move over there, or we have Keon Sabb at Alabama. There is no tackles, so I do think we'd either take Downs here or Sabb. Now, I don't know much about either of these guys, to be honest with you, so I don't know who the better prospect is or who your opinion of. I know Caleb Downs is pretty good too from what I've heard, but he does have D man coverage and D zone. So I do think obviously taking the natural strong safety here would probably be the better thing. So we'll have Malachi Moore, and now we'll add Keon Sabb next to him. So hopefully that ends up being a solid pick for us. Yeah, so solid, number 18 true value, exactly what we needed. So I'm happy to get him in round 1. And hopefully in round 2 we can get our tackle of the future to protect Dak Prescott, who I didn't realize, but he went up to Superstar X Factor. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I didn't. Just now saw it when I changed Parsons down. All right, so now we got, whoops, there we go. Okay, so we got Stellato, we got a middle linebacker, but is there any tackles? We do have a couple tackles on the board with Simmons and Hurd. So Tennessee, Lance Hurd. Yeah, I think this will be the guy we take. He will be moved to the right side, and he'll be our right tackle of the future, hopefully. So number 74 true value, drafted at 63. So just like that, we got our tackle. So both picks end up being hidden dev, which is the positions we needed. So we have to feel really solid about that. And now we can make this last pick in round 3 and let the AI draft the rest. So let's see what we can get here in round 3. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what we've done thus far. So we have Stellato still here, but he doesn't look that good anyway. Jacoby Johnson, is there anything else that's interesting here? You can take another corner. We have a center. I mean, take a linebacker, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Don't really like anything to here. Eric McAllister out of TCU. Maybe I'll just let my AI take care of this because I don't really see anything that I like, and I usually screw it up when I don't like anything. So I'm going to skip the rest of the draft, and I'll see you guys with the lineup going into season number 3. So here is the lineup going into year number 3. So we do have Hurd playing right tackle. Falele did end up signing with us, which is great. We have Cooper Beebe, Tyler Smith, Tyler Guyton. We have Jake Ferguson. We have Jalen Tolbert. We have CeeDee Lamb. We have Horton, who's ready to step up. Ashton Jeanty, Dak Prescott. So that's all good. Defensively, we have Sabb at the strong safety, so feeling good about that pick. We signed Bernard in free agency. Muhammad's ready to contribute. Malachi Moore. So really excited about this. Our scheme fit is 100%. Micah Parsons should walk away with double-digit sacks, if not like 20, hopefully, in this system. So we'll see how that ends up. But overall, I'm ecstatic about this, and we should be in the playoffs once again. Hopefully back in the Super Bowl, and this time we can actually win the damn thing. But we'll see how it goes. So at the end of this season, we finish up at 13-4, and guess who we get to play again? It is the San Francisco 49ers. So obviously, way better season. Would have loved to have secured a bye, but it looks like the Eagles got that instead, so they still remain better than us. We beat them in the playoffs last year, so hopefully we can do that once again when we see them. Hopefully, maybe we avoid them at all costs, so we'll see. Offensively, 6th in the NFL, and defensively, we went down, which sucks because I really liked the pieces we added on defense, but 15 touchdowns, still not 1,000 yards from Jeanty, unfortunately, but really getting the end zone a lot, touchdowns-wise. CeeDee Lamb and Horton were incredible. So Horton was really good out of Colorado State, 12 touchdowns, 1,200 yards, so really good to see that. And defensively, yeah, Micah Parsons, 14.5 sacks, kind of figured moving him to the end spot. Obviously, he'd get a ton of sacks. and then 8 from Deron Bland, so that's good. And then LeFou, 4 interceptions, and then I definitely botched the name, so I apologize. Trayvon Diggs, 4, and then 3 from Bernard and 2 from Malachi Moore, 1 from Carson, and 1 from Sab. But without further ado, we'll be playing the San Francisco 49ers in round 1 once again, so hopefully we could just jump in there, smoke them, move on to the next round, and assuming we'll see Philly here very soon. So I can tell that's, it's Miller Moss starting for the 49ers now, so that's very interesting. So no Brock Purdy, instead it's Miller Moss. So is it true that you can truly plug any quarterback into Kyle Shanahan's system and it'll work? I guess we'll find out. It's 7-0 thus far, so we have the lead, and now we're at 14-0, but they scored a touchdown. They could tie it up if we don't score here. We do score, though. 21-7. It's going to be 21-14 now. Hopefully don't give them the ball back. They threw an interception from Malachi Moore, and that's going to be all she wrote. So just like that, we beat the 49ers pretty easily. Moving on to divisional weekend once again. Maybe it'll be Philadelphia. Maybe it'll be the same path as last year where we faced off against 49ers, Philly, Green Bay, and it'll be Baltimore. We'll see. We'll see if it ends up being the same or not. So it's actually not the Philadelphia Eagles. Instead, it is the Detroit Lions, who I feel like barely get respect in the Madden simulation, I've noticed, but here we are playing them now. So let's see if we can, and we're also going to be home, which is nice. So back in Jerry World, let's see if we can come out here and beat the Lions. 7-0 to start things off, and now we'll go up 10-0, so that's good. It's 10-7, and now we're up 17-7, and they keep scoring in response. So this game is going to be back and forth, as Detroit looks to take the lead there, but they don't. Can we go score on this possession? We do. And now Detroit throws an interception, or no, they get sacked on 4th down, it looks like. And that'll be all she wrote. So we beat the Detroit Lions 14-24. For a second, this game looked like it was about to be high scoring as hell, but they only scored 14. We scored 24. And now we're on to the NFC Championship once again. We'll be facing the Commanders or the Eagles. I did see in the top right-hand corner before I jumped into this one, the Eagles and Manders are playing in the divisional round. If I had to guess, we'll probably be playing Philadelphia in the NFC Championship. So I was, in fact, correct. We are headed off to the NFC Championship, back to Philadelphia to play them once again. We played them last year and beat them 12-7 in the playoffs. It was pretty bizarre. So let's see if we can come out here and beat them again, shall we? We're back at the link. We beat them last year in the division round. This time, of course, is the NFC Championship, so the stakes are a lot higher, and we throw an interception, it looks like, to start the drive, so that's not good. But we'll respond with a touchdown, and we get a stop on defense the second drive, and now we're up 14-7. So we recover from the interception. It is 14-14, and we will score a touchdown here. So now, and they are going to respond just like that. Can we score again? We do. It's 28-21, and Philadelphia will respond again. So far, this game is back and forth like crazy. So high scoring, and, you know, you really couldn't expect anything different. But let's come out here and see if we can hand it to Ashton Jeanty a ton and get some first downs here. Should have cut to the right earlier and still gained 5 out of it, though. Only 40 yards for him on this game, so maybe Philadelphia's been kind of it looks like we haven't ran the ball a ton, so it looks like we've been airing it out a ton, but we're gonna feed Ashton Jeanty here on this drive, I think. So let's see if we can get a first down here. We will. No, we won't. We'll be stopped short. So let's see if we can get a quick one on them before they can even really get set. We need 1 yard. Ashton Jeanty can get us 1 yard, surely. There he goes. Barely. But we got it. So now we're about to head to the 2-minute warning. Do we come out of this? So let's maybe play action them. Well, we're gonna have to think about it after the 2-minute warning. So 28-28 right now. We gotta go score a touchdown or put up a field goal. So we'll see if we can come out here and do that. So we're gonna go. Actually, we're not empty. So of course we do have CeeDee Lamb, but I'm gonna start with another run to Jeanty here. So let's see if we can get some positive yardage here, and that is gonna be another positive gain. And we do have all 3 timeouts, but mainly we don't want to give the ball back to Philadelphia. Clearly our defense can stop them, just like they haven't been able to stop our offense, but they haven't seen me yet, and I barely got rid of the ball. 3rd and 4. So this is 4-down territory to me. I do not care. So I'm going to slip screen them here and see if we can get a quick first down on them. Let's see if they cover this well. They do. Still get it off, and thankfully we will get a first down here. And maybe I could have ran out of bounds, but whatever. So we get the first down, which is what we wanted. And now we might start looking to stretch this downfield a little bit. So we are going to potentially look for Ferguson in the corner, or maybe we like the zig route. The zig is there, so we're going to take the zig, and I'm going to get this out of bounds. So that's going to be a nice gain, and we're almost in the red zone. So we're actually going to go ahead and run this rock once again because, like I said, I want as much time off the clock as possible. I think Philadelphia will start burning their timeouts here maybe as well. Maybe. I guess we'll see if they do. Not getting a ton of yards here, so they do burn their first timeout. 1:07 on the clock. Clearly, though, we need better yardage than just 1 yard. So hopefully we can get a better run on this play. We'll see if that ends up happening. So yeah, that's gonna be a much better. It looked like it's gonna be a much better run, but he comes off his block as 3rd and 6. All right, well, do I run it again? I don't know if I should. I'm gonna lead dive it, and I'm gonna run it again. I'm gonna see if we can finesse this first down with it being on the ground. Obviously, burning the Eagles timeouts is gonna be the most important part, and we get a 4th and 2. I'm going for this though, because worst case scenario, the Eagles have no timeouts, and we'll have obviously, you know, the ability to stop them on defense. Hopefully, this still gives us a minute though, but still, I do think ultimately that giving the ball back to Philadelphia could be problematic. So I'm going to go for this and hope this works out. And they left CeeDee Lamb wide open. That is exactly what I was looking at the whole time, what I wanted. And now we can take as much time off as possible and just obviously feed Ashton Jeanty. So we're going to just hand this off really quickly, and then we'll start burning our timeout. So let's see if we can get this in the end zone, and that's going to be one step closer. So let's call our first timeout. All right, so now we have like 2 attempts at it. I'm going to throw this in the end zone. That way we, you know, score a touchdown. Don't leave him with a ton of time. And of course, CeeDee Lamb is left one-on-one right now, or left with nobody. So we are just going to throw it to him immediately and get him a touchdown. And somehow we just screw that up. That's nice. Okay. Well, that should have been a touchdown, but unfortunately, I found a way to screw that up. I think I did that in one of the previous videos too. All right, well, let's see if we can get him here. He's there again, so we're fine. All right, touchdown, 17 seconds left. If they find a way to score in 17 seconds, GG's. And just like that, we're moving on to the Super Bowl once again. We had to jump in and save the day this time. Actually, we don't really need to save the day because we may have scored again without me, but happy to have taken all the clock off and not give the Philadelphia Eagles the ball back. Let's see who we play in the Super Bowl this time. And now for the Super Bowl, to hopefully end off the video with a Lombardi trophy. We're squaring off against the Kansas City Chiefs. So Cowboys versus Chiefs Super Bowl. Every fan's dream. Just kidding. Obviously, I think it'd be a nightmare for a lot of people. But we're up 7-0 after interception from Deron Bland. And now we're going to be down 10-7. We need to go score a touchdown, and we do. And now we come out of the ball with, or we come out of half with the ball. So scoring here would be pivotal. But so far we have not. And now we'll be up 10-21. And the Chiefs will score a touchdown. So now it's 16-21. And without further ado, let me see if I can come out here, kind of do what I did in the Philadelphia game and make sure the Chiefs never touch the ball again. We can walk away with a Lombardi champion or Lombardi trophy. So obviously the Chiefs are a talented team, but we're going to just start off by handing this rock to Ashton Jeanty. Only 49 yards. So kind of similar to what it was when I jumped into the Eagles game where he isn't getting a ton of volume or a ton of production. But I do like the idea of maybe CeeDee Lamb on a go route if they leave him one-on-one, but of course they won't. So we're just going to go underneath to B, and we're going to get a first down there, so that's nice. And we don't need to obviously hike this before the 2-minute warning, but I am, you know, curious about this screen. The wheel route looks interesting, but I don't know, man. Do we take it? I'm going to screw it. I'm going to see what happens with it. They are going to have it well covered, so I shouldn't have hiked it, unfortunately. It's going to be 2nd and 22. I was getting greedy there. I was going to see if I could maybe get a huge play if they obviously... We're back here on 2nd and 22, and obviously we need a massive first down here, but I don't know if we'll get a first down, but oh my goodness, we just got a nice catch off on 27. So that was a massive first down, and now we can start to run the ball again. Apologies for stopping the video for a second. There's some major distractions going outside my room that I just could not keep talking over, but... we are going to have 2nd and 7 here, 2 timeouts left, and now we can go ahead and continue. Or sorry, 1 timeout left for them, not 2. So 1 timeout left for them. We have 1 first down. Obviously, kind of ends this game, and that's gonna be a nice run. Almost a first down, and it is a first down. So that is your ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we can just go ahead and kneel this out the rest of the way. No timeouts for them to stop the clock. Massive catch by Jake Ferguson to get us that massive first down after getting greedy on trying to take that screen wheel route, but no harm, no foul. And now we can just, like I said, and this is on shoe clock, right? Yep. So we're good there. So yeah, we'll kneel this out, get a trophy to the Cowboys with Dak Prescott, Ashton Jeanty, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, Micah Parsons. So a lot to be excited about here to end off the video with a bang. All right, one more kneel, and this is all she wrote, and that will be how the video ends. So thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think? Should Ashton Jeanty be drafted by the Dallas Cowboys? Do you guys think they have bigger problems to worry about in the first round? Or is Jeanty even a first-round pick? I don't know, man. Running backs are kind of weird to grade sometimes. Obviously, he's a Heisman finalist. So I don't know. Let me know your guys' all opinions. I'm not a draft expert by any means. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.